I would like to maybe move over to today's discussion now, where we kind of focus on custody, because that's, I think, with 21st Capital is what you're doing right now. So maybe just quickly to set the context, I mean, it's something that I've been hearing and discussing with fellow Bitcoiners, as Bitcoin is kind of rising in value, more and more people, I feel like, are starting to feel sort of a queasy feeling about it, because they're like, yeah, holding my own key at when Bitcoin was 1,000 or even 10,000 US dollars, this was still fine. But now that we're almost at 100K, your stack has again like 10x, and it that in like a really short amount of time. So you hold a lot more wealth, and a lot of people, because they're feeling queasy about it, they're like, okay, maybe at some point now, because this is becoming serious, I have to bring it to a bank. I want to store it at a central custodian, because then, yeah, I don't trust myself. I can even be the big problem, in the entire custody setup. So from a Bitcoiner's perspective, this is obviously, yeah, we don't want to encourage this, because as you said, Bitcoin, it's not only about this 21 million cap that we have, it's also about the freedom, that we really can hold our own money. So I don't know. This is the context I want to set. Do you see that problem as well? And probably how can we make sure people opt in the end for self-custody solutions?
Yes. So let me start by saying that the one of the biggest problems in the Bitcoin space is actually custody. And the problem is that actually a lot of investors do not want to even buy Bitcoin because they're scared of losing the money, right? So either they buy it and they put it on an exchange, or they do self custody, and like a lot of things happen, right? And before I jump into what we do exactly, I just want to say why we're doing it. We have come across a huge number of individuals in the past few years, our team, where we had to help them recover their money because they had no freaking idea what they did. Okay. And a lot of cases were unsolved because they lost everything. Right. And I don't want to go into technicalities, but there's so many things that can actually happen in self custody. And a lot of Bitcoiners don't want to talk about it because we want people to take self custody, right? But there is actually a huge amount of risk involved in self custody, which is the individual himself. It's actually not the computers that's causing the problem. It's the individual using the computer that is always the problem. You know that problem, right? Especially if you're not tech savvy, and if you do one thing you that is, not good practice. For example, you click on a link and on an email that you didn't really know where it came from, and you install some malware without even realizing, and then you next time when you send money from your wallet, you realize you actually send money to someone else without even realizing what even happened, right? I've had cases like this. I had a client, he sent $1 million worth of Tether, not Bitcoin, but Tether, to an address that he didn't control. And that was an exchange who did that, a small exchange, but still, $1 million worth of Tether he sent to an address that he didn't control. And that's too late. There is nothing we can do to get that money back unless we do the setup from scratch in a different and more innovative way.